These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on February 17th, Friday, February 17th. I forgot to say the day. Started the All-Star break. Celtics just wrapped up a game against the Pistons the other night. They got a win, almost got a win against the Milwaukee Bucks with the reserve team. We talked about it a little bit on the pregame show. So if you watch the pregame show, which you should, 30 minutes before every Celtics game. That's what I'm saying. 30 minutes for every Celtics game on the YouTube channel, on the Facebook, on Heavy on Celtics Facebook. Come check it out. We talked about it there. We'll touch on it briefly here, but most of our thoughts are on the pregame show, and Sam and I got into an argument, so it'd be tough to recreate said argument.
How you doing? Have you cooled off? What have you been doing the last couple days? I don't think we talked yesterday, which is rare.
Yeah, chilling. What did I do yesterday? I played a lot of video games yesterday. I've been playing I don't know if you're a Harry Potter guy. Hogwarts Legacy video game came out. Very good. I'm a big fan.
It's been all the rave. I have not seen. Well, I know I haven't seen all the movies, but the movies I have seen, I haven't seen in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've thought about going back and watching them.
You didn't read the books?
I read like some of the books when I was young.
Okay.
Dude, I could not tell you the last time I read a book.
Well, I mean, I read the books when I was in 5th grade, so it's not like I read them recently. But like, I read them in 5th grade. Actually, the thing
I don't even think I was reading books in college. Like, I was just looking up the plot.
Well, the funny story is pregame legend Tom Simone, my dad. When I was in 5th grade, my dad didn't like reading either, but I was like, Dad, you have to read these books. They're super, like, they're great. And I was on like the first one. I just really liked it. And it was like September at the time. And he goes, all right, if you finish all 7 books within the span of a year, then I will read them all. And keep in mind, I'm in 5th grade at this point. So like a year is a reasonable amount of time.
He's not trying to read them.
No, but however, it was September. So he was giving me till the next September. I finished them by the end of the calendar year, by December. I read all 7 books, and then he read them. He loved them. So he was hyped. We watched all the movies. It was great. We saw Harry Potter brought an exhibit to Boston Children's Museum, Boston Science Museum. I went to it twice. It was great. Big Harry Potter guy. I haven't like reread the books or rewatched the movies, but I've just enjoyed it. And now this video game came out. You get to be a wizard. It takes place 100 years before the Harry Potter storyline. So you're at Hogwarts. You're chilling. You get to go on all these different missions and stuff. It's very hype. You get to ride on a broom, ride around the place. It is very hype. I am thoroughly enjoying. I think I've logged 10 hours in the game already.
Have I told you about when the Spider-Man game came out in 2018?
No, I don't think so.
So as loyal listeners of the show understand, I am a massive Spider-Man fan. I keep my Blu-ray collection right here so I can grab it every time. But a huge Spider-Man fan, always have been. And that game on the PS4 had been in the works for a while. Like, you were seeing clips of it for years.
I heard it was really good.
And it's excellent. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Now, I had been waiting for this game to come out for years. Comes out, believe it was a Thursday, came out at midnight, so it was available on Friday. I was in college, so I took Friday off. Actually, I might not have class Friday. I don't know. Did you have class on Fridays in school when you were in college?
Not after like freshman year.
A lot of times you didn't have class. So I don't remember if I skipped. I probably wouldn't have skipped. Maybe I did. I don't know. But anyways, midnight comes, play the game for an hour and a half, call it a day, wake up at 7, play the game till 1 a.m, and I finish it. So I completely understand the game comes out, all you want to do is play it.
Of course.
And you just run right through it. So when the second game comes out, I'm sure I'll do something very similar. But yesterday was a friend of mine's birthday. We all went out to dinner. Now we were trying to figure out where to go to dinner, and I am always a big fan of this place called Brass Monkey. Now, yesterday I did not suggest the restaurant. I didn't suggest it. He came up with a list, and it was on there, and that's the one he picked because I always talk about it. Now, you have to understand, when you go out to eat with my friends, there's a lot of pressure when you are the one that recommends something, because there is a very great window for them to shit on you if they can, and they love to do it. So we get there, service isn't great. I love the chicken sandwich there. So they get the chicken sandwich. Of course, the chicken sandwich is not going to live up to what I say the chicken sandwich is. It's just not going to happen.
Brutal.
So I'm just getting crap the whole time. And at the end, the service is slow again. Cards on the table waiting to be paid. and I lost it. I lost it on one of my friends. I was like,
Oh no.
because they just keep saying like it's taking a while, it's taking a while, it's taking a while. We're in the booth in a corner. I am in
Yeah.
the corner, so I cannot get up.
Uh-huh.
I said, you bring the thing up then. Bring it up. Get up and bring it to the wait staff. I'm sick of hearing about this. Get up. You're on the outside if it's that big a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I was pissed. And I never get pissed like that. Like, I have energy on the show and I'll get mad or whatever. But really, like, I'm a pretty agreeable guy. I try not to get upset at people when I was younger. I really would when I was like a kid. I was a shithead. But like now I'm like really good about it. Like, I don't get mad very often. But I was pissed. Like, I get pissed
That's
at my own internally, but I very rarely will express that I'm pissed.
Yeah, I don't get mad too much either. But when I do get mad, it's really bad. Like it's loud and it is like in your face. But yeah, no. My thing is, I was going to get dinner the other night. This is like along the lines of like food service stories and like people, acting out or whatever you want to say. I picked up dinner from a local place called Giorgio's, very good. And right next to Giorgio's is White's Bakery. And so every time we get Giorgio's on Thursday nights, someone will stop in and get like some cookies, some like pastries and stuff for afterwards. It's cool. My stepdad is sick. Got COVID. I beat the allegations. We talked about this on the pregame show. No COVID for me. But I went to pick up food, so I got Giorgio's and I went into White's. I'm ordering what I want. I'm saying, okay, I'll take a couple of these, blah, blah, blah. I'll get these. And by the time I had ordered, so the way it's laid out is there's like a glass case with like pastries you pick from and they'll box it up for you. But there's also like stuff you can just grab, like boxes of cookies, separate, like prepackaged that you can pick up and go to the counter. And so I'm ordering and another woman has gotten like prepackaged stuff and is just waiting at the register ahead of me. Right. And so I don't know if she like, you want to say she technically skipped the line. I don't know if you want to say that she has the right to do that, but she had grabbed prepackaged stuff and kind of just like gone ahead of me and was waiting at, at one of the cash registers.
You can't be doing that.
That's what I'm saying. And so I finish, very nice lady helping me behind the counter. She comes over, she rings me up at the register next to the one the lady is the other woman is already waiting at. Whatever, the woman just kept looking at the worker, right? And there's like three of them working. One of them's doing inventory, one of them is packaging up stuff on the other side of the restaurant, and the other one is like helping the customers. And so she finishes helping me, whatever. I say thank you, I leave, and on my way out I hear the lady goes, "So are you the only one working here?" I wanted to turn around and just scream at the woman. Like, how rude can you be to A, just skip ahead of other people waiting to get boxed up, and B, then question the worker who's clearly scrambling to keep up as her coworkers are doing other things. Like, I'll never understand it. And I feel like it's definitely a generational thing. Like, maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like our generation, like, we get crapped on, excuse me, somewhat often for being, awkward or timid or not very socially inept. Like we had the episode with the Rated Jays where they made fun of you for being socially awkward. However, I will also say that social awkwardness, I feel like, makes us kinder in situations where it's necessary. Like the generation above us, I feel like is just extremely rude and disrespectful to service workers, like restaurants and stuff. But like, I don't know, like, and the lady at the counter didn't technically do anything wrong. It just kind of like, it rubbed me the wrong way, right? Like, don't question the nice worker working at the restaurant. Just be nice. Just wait in line, wait your time. An extra 10 minutes isn't going to kill you, and then go on with your day. I don't know. That's my rant. Also, doubling back to you were talking about excuse me, school schedules. I wanted to talk about the absolutely goated school schedule I had my sophomore year of college. So I was a nursing major. Longtime listeners of the show know. And so my sophomore year, excuse me, I had classes for nursing only once a week, right? And so the nursing classes were just Tuesdays. And so me, being the genius that I am, I scheduled all of my other classes for Tuesdays. And then we had clinicals on Wednesdays or something like that. And so I would have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, nothing. No class. I would have five. It was phenomenal. And those 2 days, those Tuesday, Wednesdays, brutal. But when I had 5 days of nothingness, when I tell you that was just, it was peak, it was absolutely phenomenal. However, I will say Nursing clinical, some of the worst times of my life. Absolutely hated it. It was the
Yeah,
worst.
those are long days.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I worked in a nursing home. All the patients were very nice. Everybody was very kind. It just wasn't for me. I will say, actually, I mean, this is Jack's story time now. So I walk in. They gave me the job. I finished like my regular work. So they're like, okay, can you go up and down the hall and take blood pressure and stuff? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. And I went into this room, and it was like blocked off with like PP and stuff, like don't enter, et cetera, et cetera. And they said, no, you're fine. You can go in. I'm like, what am I about to see in here? I walk in. It is just an elderly gentleman playing video games. He has a PS1 set up.
Nice.
And he's ripping. It was something along the lines of like Sniper Shootout. Like that was the title of the game, like a generic. He's walking into a wall, has no idea what he's doing, but he's chilling. I go, oh, you like gaming? He walks up to his dresser, opens up one of the
just walking into a wall.
Oh yeah. You know, he had no idea what he's doing. But I'm like, you like video games, huh? And he opens up one of the drawers of his dresser where like everyone keeps their clothes. It is full of video games. Like it is only video games, and it was phenomenal. He didn't say a word to me. He didn't say a single word. He was just chilling. I took his blood pressure.
He didn't want to waste his breath when he could you know, take yours away by showing you his collection.
That's what I'm saying.
He said no words needed. Look at this bad boy.
It was awesome. It was awesome. That's the best story I had. Also, there's another story. Quick one. There was this lady who like she had to go walks, quote unquote. She was in a wheelchair, but like nurses would like walk with her up and down the hall just to get her out of her room, et cetera, et cetera. And apparently she didn't like people, and so she had a history of like biting or like screaming or something. She only liked me. Out of all of my classmates, all the clinical people, she only liked me. So me and her, she held my hand and we walked up and down the hall and until it was time for her to go back. And if anybody else tried to do it, screams. She liked me. I am 90% sure she thought I was her grandson, but that is okay.
Back in my prime when I was working at the nursing home,
yeah,
one of many of the ladies would try and come on to me.
That's amazing.
Now, those of you who've never been in a nursing home or maybe in the younger generation, you don't know what words like parking mean. Parking is how old people tell you they would like to make out. That was something I learned as a worker in the nursing home. All things like that. Every once in a while, I would get that. Listen, I was still I wasn't in my peak fitness yet. I wasn't looking the way I was looking. I was still getting that.
Amazing.
And then another past job. This is a fantastic story. Then we can get into the Celtics. So apparently today, have you seen The Office? I know you have.
Of course.
Yes,
of course. Have. My girlfriend and I love The Office.
Now,
she loves it more than I do. But yes.
Now, you know when Michael hosts the Dundies at Chili's?
Of course. Iconic.
So it has come not just to my attention, but many of the ghosts of news station past have been informed that today they had their own makeshift version of the Dundies.
No,
but it was unironic. It wasn't meant to be funny.
Like today as we're recording this?
like they're giving out like awards at the station.
Wow,
because morale is so bad.
Wow.
Now I typically do not like to speak on the past workplace,
of course,
but this is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. Now, two of my very good friends still work there. I have other good friends that are very much in the loop as well. So I've heard from many sources about the awards that are named after the building that the place is in, where
Amazing.
I had coworkers that cannot stand going into, but they named the awards after the building, which is just the best. But apparently they gave them out to the best person in every department. And the kid that got the news one apparently wanted a promotion. They said no, so you can have this trophy instead.
God. Oh,
and
that's
then they gave
a slap
him
in the face.
A $25 gift card to Cumberland Farms.
Oh, to Cumberland Farms. It's not even like Starbucks or Dunkin'. They gave him a gift card to Cumberland. You said, go get your gas.
Well, just think of how many coffees you can get. You get a good $25 to Starbucks. You're using that up in 3 goes. You go to Cumberland Farms, that's 25 different coffees you can get. If anything, they're putting some real thought into that.
Jeez, man.
As the morale could never be higher.
That's amazing. Love the Dundies. You gotta love the Dundies. Phenomenal.
Never thought I would hear anything of it in real life, but here we are.
Yeah.
I missed out on it by a couple months. I could have won.
It's iconic. That's iconic. All right. Let's get into the Celtics. We've spent enough of your time talking about, excuse me, college and the Dundies, and I
The
don't even
fake
remember what we started
Dundies.
with. Yeah.
Well, it's messed up. They didn't even do it at Chili's. Like they all just went into work. Like at least you go to a
Oh, they
Chili's,
did
you
it
get a
out
little
of
bit
work?
extra. Yeah, no. Yeah, they
Brutal.
didn't go anywhere. They said everybody show up to work, and here we go.
That's tough. That's tough. Did they know what was happening when they went to work, or were they surprised?
I believe they sent an email yesterday, and I got to tell you, the staff could not have been more excited.
What if you just like say, "Hey, Dundee's time"? They get into work. They're like, "What are we doing? What is happening today?"
Oh, that was the reaction when the email dropped.
Wow.
None too happy. The employees.
I don't blame them, but that is phenomenal. Anyways, Celtics. We have not talked since the Bucks game, I believe, so we have Bucks and Pistons to cover. We can roll through those pretty quickly because I don't think there's too much to talk about. The Bucks game, I know Sam was very angry that they did not win because they showed that they could. My counterpoint was they didn't have a closer. You know, you can play well for X amount of the game, and when you're at full strength, you should be able to play great for the entire game. And I agree with you in the sense that, like, if you're in that point, they showed they can win. They could have won, so like, you know, get the job done. But at the same time, like, you're short staffed that much. You're playing all these minutes. Mike Muscala logged career high minutes. Grant Williams logged career high minutes. Like everyone's playing a ton. You don't have a go-to closer. Grant Williams obviously turned it over at the end after having a pretty good game. It was just a mess because everyone was tired and you didn't really have anybody to go to. So I don't blame them too much. If anything, I'm just happy that they, you know, put up the fight and showed that they're this deep of a team. But I know you were angry.
Well, that's the best part, isn't it? That Mike Muscala needed the day off the day after because he
Right?
played so much. He played like 44 minutes. He's like, all right, I'm taking it. I'm a little tuckered out. I'm gonna take this one off.
Then he rocked the elite jean jacket at the Pistons game too. He was
I know,
snazzy.
in the platform shoes. He's 7 feet tall. Like, you know,
man.
I'm surprised they even make platform shoes for feet that big.
Yeah.
Like, how many do you think they sell? Like 2 pairs a year?
Well,
Like,
you probably had them custom.
Who's ordering that?
You probably had them custom. You know, get a little custom fit in there for him. But I know you weren't too happy after the Bucks
No,
game.
I was not. I was none too happy. I'm not a fan of when they tease you like that. I said on the pregame we got into a nice argument, which you don't get very much of. So if you want to see it, go back and
enjoy
watch
it.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
It is the Pistons pregame show, right?
The Pistons pregame, which did
Yes.
well, but the pregame's lately been doing well. Everything we've been doing
Shout
is
out,
doing
y'all.
relatively well. Ever since we started talking for 10 minutes at the beginning of shows. Can you believe it?
People like to hear us talk shit, apparently.
But back to that Bucks game. Yeah, I mean, it's like when I was a kid, my dad or my parents would say, like, they'd get mad at me if I got like B's or B plus, whatever.
Yeah.
Because like it's like if you were a C student, we'd be happy you're getting C's.
Exactly.
We know you can get an A, so get an A. And that's how I feel about the Celtics. Now, listen, I understand they had the fellas out there playing in five serve at the Forum, but
yes,
the fellas said, "Hey, we can play." So go out there and finish it. You're up 14. Now there's plenty of time left when they were up 14. That I have less of a problem with. You expected Milwaukee to get back in the game, but even after the Celtics gave up that lead, they built a lead back up in regulation, and then they also went up 5 in overtime, and they failed to close both those times. I'm not asking you to go toe-to-toe with Giannis. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you, if you have a little bit of a cushion, maintain it. You manage the game. Don't panic. They took Derek White out of the game in overtime after he really was taking over. He was getting to the basket. He made some threes. Like, he played really great. And then once he was taken out of the game, they didn't know what to do.
See,
that's not a good look for the fellas. It's not.
No, I just think none of them are used to being in that spot. Like,
no they don't initiate. It's true. But Grant Williams is not ISOing.
He's not.
Grant Williams, by the way, who all he had to do was shoot the ball and he would have been fine. But
he needs to be better.
He elected not to shoot it and said, "Let me dribble. Let me cook."
He needs to be better at that sort of decision making. And I think we're seeing like last year, everyone was talking about all this dude does is shoot. All he does is stand in the corner. No one, like, he needs to do more.
Who cares?
This year,
he was fired.
No.
He was fired standing in the corner.
I'm explaining. Like, some people were like, "Oh, this is all he does," and if this is all he does, and it's fine, then he adds more to his game. And now people are like, "Just go back and shoot." And I think he's just working to find a balance. And he took last year to work on shooting. This year's, yeah, exactly. So he's trying to show it off. But sure. also, you say all the Celtics, I'm not asking you to stop Giannis. It's even more impressive that you're asking them to stop Mr. Drew Holiday, who decided to turn into Steph Curry for the night.
That was irritating. I hate that.
Great game from Drew. Yeah.
Even though he's an all-star, like it felt
Tough,
like they were
tough.
getting killed by like Ish Smith.
It was his most threes of the season.
Yeah, you bet.
By a
That's
couple.
how it goes. By the way, you want to speak about nonsense. How about Paulo Banchero, who's made 3% of his threes all month? Now, let's pull it up. I'm not going to do it because I use my other monitor for lighting. Let's see his 3-point percentage against the Celtics. I would just like to know.
Oh, yes. Let me go on Stat Muse.
Because those of you that did not see, there was a stat going around Twitter that I believe in the month of February, he has made 3% of his 3-point attempts. This is a guy that made at least 5 threes in one of these games against the Celtics. What does he shoot? 60%?
He averages, I'll tell you the points first. He averages 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He shoots 40.9% from the field and 56% from 3.
There you go. There it is. And he said, I'm going to use all of them against the Celtics because against everyone else, I have nothing to offer from beyond the arc.
Yeah, that's kind of incredible. He
it's
is averaging
and start hating a player.
Oh God, I gotta see. I'm trying to find like what he's shooting from 3. I mean, on the season, I can tell you
it's like 27, I believe. Maybe less.
Let me take a look. On the season, Paulo Banchero is shooting 28.1% from the field. I know the stats you're talking about, though. He's shooting like 3%. Not from 3. Sorry. From 3. Yes.
I was like, this guy's rookie of the year. Is he just taking every shot?
That'd be some Anthony Bennett numbers. No, but he has made 3+ threes in 7 games this season, and 3 of them have been against the Celtics.
You bet. That's how it works.
Yeah. So. Very tough. He made 6 threes against the Celtics in December. He made 3 against the Celtics in December again. He made 3 against the Celtics in January, and then one below, he made 2 against the Celtics in October.
Well, of course, that's the one the Celtics won.
Yeah, and he's only made two or more threes in 17 games, and 4 of them are the Celtics. So there you go.
That's the way it goes.
It's amazing. There you go. And 3 of his top 7 3-point percentage games have been against the Celtics as well. So look at him. Celtics killer in the making, Paulo Banchero. But anyways, running it back to the Bucks game. It was tough. It is what it is. You'd like to win that game, but it was I thought it was a good performance anyways from the Celtics, just showing that they were able to compete. Then you fast forward to the Pistons game. Tatum comes back. Horford comes back. Marcus Smart returns, which I didn't expect.
I
thought they'd keep him out till the break. Yep, and he played phenomenal. He put up
the bigger surprise to me, and I'll tell you why after you're done.
He put up 9 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 steals, and I assume what you're about to say is you're expecting him to take hella shots because Jaylen Brown was out.
Yeah, I thought he'd have to be more of an offensive focal point for them, and he didn't really have to do that.
Well, it's Brogdon.
Thanks to Derek White and Brogdon, who
that's why they brought him in.
We're just cooking. It was great.
Yeah.
Having those guys is such a great thing. It makes Marcus Smart better, even though it might make you feel like you don't need Marcus Smart at times. Like watching Derek White put up 27 and 12, you might have that thought, and also play great defense. You might have that thought, but then he comes back and you realize he gives you so much more. The team against the Pistons, of course, it is the Pistons, but they looked so much more well organized. They looked calmer. Yeah. Marcus Smart was making great passes, leading guys to easy shots inside. It was a really great sight to see him back on the floor. He plays such great basketball. He had a ton of different stats. 9, 7, 6, and 6, I believe he put up. It was a crazy game for Marcus.
Yeah.
The ton of steals was fun to watch. Like he is a great player to watch.
He was hyped up. Shout out Marcus. He played great. Tatum looked good. Brogdon looked good. Blake Griffin was diving on the floor per usual. That was awesome to see.
Blake Griffin loves hilarious.
Blake. I love Blake. And excuse me, sorry. When the Celtics signed Blake, I was a bit skeptical. He is just vibes. He is the ultimate vibes guy.
I just love when he does anything and he's smiling. He's
right?
Like
he knows.
He knows. He's like, I shouldn't be doing this.
It's awesome.
And whoever's watching that other team is furious.
Well, it's because like we're talking about 3-point percentage today. Blake Griffin is shooting like stupidly well from three. He's shooting 40% from three this
On the season.
Yes.
Yeah, on the season.
On the season. And it's
Isn't
not like
that
he's
funny?
not...
Like, imagine being a Sixers fan and you definitely get up for that Celtics game. Like, you're excited. Nobody's playing for him. We're finally going to beat this team. And then Blake Griffin just sinks 5 threes against you and you lose to the fellas.
And it's not like he's like not taking threes either. He averages like almost 2 a game when he plays.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, you want to hear this? Blake Griffin not only makes threes, but he makes threes against good teams. He has only made more than 1 3 3 times this season. Do you know those games, Sam?
Philly,
Philadelphia, Milwaukee,
and
Phoenix. You weren't going to get the last one.
Okay.
All 3 of his multiple 3-point games are against playoff teams. Like, he's not hitting multiple threes against the Pistons, not doing it against the Magic or the Hornets. He's like, oh, we need some scoring today because these defenses are gonna step up. Bet. Let me drain some threes in their face. Let me mock Doc Rivers after the game. Blake Griffin is the ultimate Celtic. He is. I don't even think there's a comparison. He's like if Taco Fall could play. I'll put it that way. Right. And then it's awesome. Taco Fall, who is still in the outro of our podcast of Mike Gorman talking about Taco, just because I think it's a funny
Is he?
clip. Yeah, it's the outro. It's Mike Gorman going, Taco's getting some run out here, and then it's Tommy Heinsohn going, that is bogus. I just clipped stuff together. I wanted to keep Mike and Tommy in the intro and outro, so
that's not bad. I like that. I'll never forget that first game where Taco actually played. They put him in, and Brad was gassing up the crowd.
I was there. I was
there
electric.
too. We were both there.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Oh man, Brad's the best, isn't he? He brought in all the fellas to play around the good players. You know, he's a beast.
I saw this tweet, and we can talk about it. Brad Stevens was a phenomenal head coach. He damn well might be a better GM.
He really might be.
He's a phenomenal GM. And a lot of people, when they made the move, a lot of people ragging on him. I think there's only been one bad move he's made overall. I think signing Ennis Freedom a second time was a terrible mistake. I think that was the only bad one.
You think so? I think he's pretty good. You know, he gets a lot of offensive rebounds, and I really just think he's getting blacklisted by the NBA.
Stop it. Dennis Schroeder, I didn't like the trade, but it worked out because he got Tice back, and he's a good player. It just didn't fit well. But like,
Tice is fire.
You want to look at the other moves. Signed Richardson, good move. Signed Blake, good move.
Signed and extended Richardson so you could trade him, by the way.
Bingo. Brought in Danilo Gallinari, vibes guy, looks nice. I mean, hopefully he's gonna come back.
Gallinari, who looks lost every time he's on the bench.
I love.
He looks like he's seen a ghost.
Traded for Al about 2 days into his tenure. Beast. Al has been phenomenal for this team. Traded for Derek White. Amazing trade. Traded for Malcolm Brogdon. Robbery. Just highway robbery. Traded for Mike Muscala. I mean, Brad, I don't think he's missed outside of that Ennis Freedom move.
I feel like Brad's been so successful because he coached the best players on this team, and he coached this team and it was at a very high point. He was at the helm when they were winning games. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals 3 times under him, twice with Tatum. I mean, he knows how to get the most out of his best players. So he has done his job. He has worked to get pieces around them that he knows are going to work. He understands the game. Most people in the front office are going to understand the game. Don't get me wrong. But he understands this team. He understands
the locker room.
Maybe better than anybody on the planet because he's been involved so heavily as the coach. He was involved as the players were growing and getting to the point where they're at now. And he understands what's necessary to help them be the best versions of themselves. And I think we see that. And that's why he is doing such an excellent job in the front office. That's just what I feel.
And I didn't even mention, got Robert Williams on one of the best contracts in the NBA. Brought Marcus Smart back on a good contract. A lot of people ripped into him for. That looks like a great deal. Like, Brad hasn't missed. Sam Hauser on a great contract. Luke Cornett on a good contract, despite your feelings of him. A minimum is always good if a guy can play, right?
It'd be interesting when Grant's open and asking for the check.
That's why I trust him. I trust Brad. What I predict
is he going to turn his back on Grant Williams in a dramatic fashion? He's going to sit Grant down. He's going to bring him into the office. And Grant's going to say, I really think I should get like 18, 19, 20 million a year. And then Brad's just going to pull out the film of him dribbling the ball off his foot against Giannis, or mopping the floor, or I don't know. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head. He's done plenty to make you say, what the hell? Or Grant trying to bring the ball up and throwing it away like every single time he does it.
Well, some of those aren't his fault. Some of those the player needs to keep running. Like that Hauser one, and I know it's the one you're remembering. Hauser stopped. Hauser's got to keep going to the corner there. Anyways, what I think will happen, if you want my prediction, we don't have to get too into this because we've talked about it a bunch. I think Grant will ask for somewhere 18-20. I think Brad will counter with like 14-15. And I think Brad will probably cap out around 17-18 max. And if Grant can find an offer bigger than that, I think there'll probably be a sign and trade. If I have to guess, because as much as I think Grant can be worth $20 million in the right role and on the right team, I don't think the Celtics are that team. I don't think they should pay him $20 million for the role he's going to play, unless they want to give him a bigger role, which I also think is an option. Like, let's say they eventually want to move Al Horford to the bench. You throw Grant in that starting role next to Rob, which I know some people don't like. Some people like blah, blah, blah. You know, it's probably about as good of an Al replacement as you can find in the NBA, considering there aren't many 6'11" big men who can defend the perimeter and shoot.
Teach Ben Simmons how to shoot. You got yourself one right there.
Yeah, it's the next reclamation project. But no, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know what the sign and trade would be. Maybe it'd be like Myles Turner, but I don't love that fit next to Al. Or I guess it's okay next to Rob, but he can't really defend the perimeter.
See, I think, well, he can't really defend the perimeter, which is very fair. But I think that's a decent Al Horford replacement. If you really want to go for it, and that's what you're looking for, is
you'd have to play
a guy that can block shots, a guy that can defend the bigs down low, like an Embiid. Now, in this day and age, you're going to have to switch on the perimeter, and that's why you have people like me who say Gobert sucks, which is true because he's not effective in that kind of defense. But if you're looking to replace Al, that might not be a terrible option, especially if your hand is forced to where you have to give up Grant or pay him.
Sure.
And if you really don't want to pay Grant, that's not a terrible option to bring back. Around the league, there's probably not that many players that are going to be as helpful as Grant could be to you, but who knows?
I mean, we can do.
That's not a terrible option. What does Turner shoot from three this year? It's going to be close to 39-40% from the last I heard.
Let me take a look quick. Myles Turner,
he's been decent. He blocks a lot of shots. Yeah, like that's not bad.
He averages.
He's no Grant, and Grant does shoot the hell out of the ball.
17.5, 8 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks a game on good.
He's having a career year.
He's having a great year. But looking at, I know Keith Smith, friend of the show, put out an article recently about contracts, about like who's going to have cap space this summer, and I'm googling Keith Smith spot track.
Oh, it's all the worst teams. It's like all the teams that you know are just going to throw money because they have to, like Houston. I believe Detroit's there, the Pacers.
I want to look at like what sort of sign and trade you could be looking at, though, is what I'm doing. I'm trying to find the list, but when I search Keith Smith spot track, I find the Falcons football player from the 2000s, and so I can't find Keith's work. 1 second. Keith Smith spot track NBA salary. I'm like fumbling here. No, it's just...
As you work at that, I'll circle back to Ben Simmons real quick because we just mentioned him. How great is that Jack Vaughn has like had enough of Ben Simmons? Have you seen the quote? Like he's like, if you play him off the ball, he can't shoot, and if you give him the ball, like the whole defense sags off, and it gets easier to cover the rest of the team. Like he's had enough of Ben Simmons. Yeah. Who's better, Fultz or Simmons? Which Sixers #1 overall pick is better?
Right now,
who would you rather have?
Are we including like contracts or just like without contracts?
With the contract, I think the contract is an important part of this.
With contracts, false. But if you're asking me, I think he's good. But if you're asking me who the better player is without the contract, I'd probably still say Simmons. I think Simmons is a good player, but the only issue with him is you have to put him in a very specific situation where he can have the ball in his hands a lot and he has shooters around him. And I think in hindsight, he had that in Brooklyn, but I don't think he had it because I don't think he could have the ball as much as he might need. If that
when
makes
you
sense,
have guys that can create as well as Durant and Irving, you can't.
It's like Westbrook. It's like Russ.
Him the ball.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like Russ. I think Ben Simmons is a better, worse shooting Russell Westbrook, if that makes sense.
Did you see Gilbert Arenas said Westbrook would be very helpful if he was on the Celtics?
Yeah, that's bogus. But
How about that?
Westbrook would be awful.
You know how much
some people on Twitter.
the Celtics really could use another guard, though.
Is that sarcasm? I hope
Yes.
that's sarcasm. I was gonna say, I'm like, what are we doing here? No, Westbrook would not be good on the Celtics. I think Westbrook can be successful in certain situations. I think he'd be okay in Miami. I think he'd be all right in LA. I think he'd be good on the
The
Wizards.
streets are saying
there's
people
thoughts,
don't think he's fit for Heat culture.
Well,
I saw that today.
I don't know if the Heat have room to bargain. I think the Heat might get Kevin Love though. I think that'd be a
Heat are
good fit for
screwed.
them.
Heat are up the creek without a paddle. They're paying Kyle Lowry a bunch of money. Jimmy Butler's a great player, but he's making a real lot of money. And
Hero and Bam.
your money is tied up in Hero and Bam, who are both like decent players, and Bam's an excellent player. But in terms of players that are getting you across the finish line, they don't really have any right now. So that's why they continuously are inconsistent. And they're in close games all the time, and they're winning like about half.
Yeah. I did find the list. We don't have to spend 10 time on it. Like you said, it's mostly bad teams. The Jazz, maybe you get like Kelly Olynyk and someone else back for Grant. Like not great, but it's fine. The Rockets, if they wanted to pay him, there's really not much there you could ask for back because they traded Eric Gordon. The Pacers is like a Myles Turner thing, though. They'd probably want to pair him with Myles Turner. So you'd probably be looking at like a Buddy Hield, which is like not very interesting, or like a Tyson McConnell, which, excuse me, again, not very interesting.
Can't get rid of this guy, Tice, dude. He just keeps coming back.
There's the Magic. If they wanted to pay him, you could try to get back like I don't even know. Like there's just not much. There's not much among the teams with cap space that would be worth it. And you could do a sign and trade with a team that doesn't have cap space. Like let's say the Heat wanted to sign him, and you want to do a sign and trade. Like take back Duncan Robinson's contract and have them like. Well, obviously the Heat would have to give you more than Duncan Robinson because that contract's terrible. Yeah, bam. But like let's say the Heat did. I don't know, a sign and trade. They gave you Duncan Robinson, a first round pick, and Caleb Martin. Right? If you're losing Grant anyways and he wants to leave, getting some sort of return back wouldn't be the end of the world. But like I said, I think Grant will end up staying in Boston, probably around a figure of like 16, 17 mil. But if he does leave, I assume there'll be a sign and trade. Or your favorite thing in the world, Sam.
TP, so we can just sit and talk about guys that they won't trade.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that the best? Like so Gordon Hayward left 2 years ago this summer. No. Yes. 3 years ago this summer.
Yes.
Because of COVID. So technically this is the third season they haven't had Hayward. So they had a big, huge TP and they got Fournier, and then Fournier left and they got another TP. And then they brought in Derek White through the TP.
No.
That was part of it.
They didn't,
or they just let that go to nothing.
They let the Fournier TP go because they traded for Brogdon without it. And then they're like, okay, we don't need it. Which you could argue was a mistake, but at that point it's fine.
Who cares? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want to hear TPE anymore. I'm sick of it.
It's free content, baby. Free content machine. I love it.
It's just never enough to where you can get anything worth it. Because the whole point of the TPE
17 mil was.
What do you say?
The Fournier one was 17 mil. That's a good contract.
Well, here's the thing. You're not getting any player for 17 mil that's making that money that's any good for using a TPE. The whole point of the TPE is you can put money into it without sending somebody back.
Well, yeah, but like if you're saying
you don't have to match the salary, but if you're getting somebody that they're willing to give up for like a second round pick for that's making that much money, they're obviously not that good.
Well, not necessarily though. You can trade like Pritchard and a few firsts, right? Like you're telling me if the Raptors wanted to get rid of OG Anunoby, you had the Fournier trade exception. I don't even know if he fits it, but let's say he did for the sake of the argument. You could trade Grant, Pritchard, and 3 firsts for him. You know what I'm saying? Like without having to get up all the way. So you could just trade a couple of the players, fit them into the TPE, and then send picks.
Okay. I didn't know how it worked with the outgoing salaries.
You can send anything back, right? The point is you don't have to match the salary. You can just bring, it's like when the Celtics traded for Evan Fournier, they gave up 2 firsts, but they also gave up Jeff Teague, if you remember. So like they didn't have to match the salary. They just shipped out a player. Celtics legend Jeff Teague, by the way, beast.
Both of them. Ugh. What a season that was. If the Celtics end up having like a great run with the core they have, that'll always be a season that's just like real funny. Like you can't believe it happened.
Right. You're right. Out of nowhere. All right. What do we have next? We talked Bucks. We talked Pistons. Excuse me. Joe Mazzulla, briefly.
Yes.
I mean, there's not much to discuss, but officially the head coach of the Boston Celtics.
We can get into it. Yeah, finally.
That's about it. I mean,
it's really weird because when you write about the Celtics, you have to say, not anymore, but you had to say interim head coach because that was technically what he was. And I mean, you knew Udoka wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, he's
look at
definitely
this.
not.
Now, you know what's really irritating me is the people that are like taking his side.
Yeah, that's gross.
Like, you
That's
know who's
gross.
doing that is Nia Long.
Yeah, I
who
don't
arguably
understand
is
what
the
Nia Long's
biggest victim.
She's like, I don't understand why she's placing blame on the Celtics. Like, I've seen a lot of people, and I understand being frustrated that your business got out and that it was not handled privately, but like, there wasn't really, much left to the Celtics to do, right? Because like, I don't think the Celtics leaked it to Woj and Shams, right? Because like the reporting got out, they reported it. And then what do you want the Celtics to do? Nothing? Like say nothing about it? No, they made a statement. Brad Stevens was clearly very upset about what happened.
Yeah, he was not thrilled.
No, and I think they like Nia Long's getting mad that they said a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure they said as little as they possibly could.
Yeah, because we still don't know what happened.
No, we don't. And I mean,
I'll tell you what. I know what you're about to say, but the documentary, whenever it comes out, is gonna be fire. Like because there is going to become a time where like enough time has passed and somebody's gonna make a doc on it, and it's gonna be so good because you're gonna finally learn what people knew, what they didn't know, who knew what actually happened. Like we don't know what happened. We have to assume the worst because if you don't and you talk about it, then you look real bad when it comes out. But seriously, like it's definitely an interesting story. It was a huge news break when it came out. None of us expected. We were just all hanging out. It was September. It was a couple weeks before the season started. We were all getting excited, and then that bomb dropped, and we were like, "What the hell?" Thank God for Mazzulla, who has stepped up and did an excellent job on no notice.
Great job, Mazzulla.
Now you can argue, what does he really have to do? Which is true. All he has to do is not be terrible, and he's been pretty good.
My thing is, Mazzulla was put in an absolutely lose-lose situation, right? Because if he comes in and does a bad job, it's his fault, right? Because the Celtics were good last year, and he is the one difference, and so they're bad. But if he comes in and they do good, then everyone's just going to say, "Oh, that's just because they were good last year. He didn't do anything," right? Like there was no winning for Joe Mazzulla, and he has done a good job, right? Like he has done like as good as he could possibly do. Sure, are there complaints? Sure. Should he call a few more timeouts? Sure. Were there complaints with Joe Mazzulla that no one remembers because they made the finals, so all is good? Absolutely, there were complaints with Joe Mazzulla. Like, let's not sit here and act like Ime Udoka was perfect, right? Like people he didn't play Pritchard, right? His rotations were really tight. He cut Grant out of the rotation at the start of last year, right? Like he had some things that people were upset about, but since he made the finals, all was good. And so let's not act like we need Udoka back. We need this. Joe Mazzulla stinks. Shut up. Stop. It's just I hate, and I know you do too. I hate the blame the coach angle. It is the laziest take. It is the worst. Joe Mazzulla has done a great job. He is admittedly not the most engaging person at the post game podium.
I think it makes him funny.
It is funny, but he gives you the 3-word answers, and that's all he gives you. So. I'm glad for him. I'm happy.
I do miss Udoka because Udoka was fire. Like a lot of the things he was doing was so fire. He was like, "All right, you guys need to stop playing like a bunch of bitches," and then they go out there and win. Yeah. It was like the best. And he would like come out and just rip him in the media, like he didn't care. It's too bad,
Too bad he's an asshole.
Can't do that.
Too bad he's a creep.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
But as far as the Nia Long stuff, I hope she's, moves on and is okay. I feel bad her business got out there, but I don't understand the placing blame on the Celtics part. But anyways, Joe Mazzulla, the official head coach of the Celtics. Congratulations to Joe. You have
it truly is a lose-lose because his us talking about him becoming the coach just is not about him. It goes right back to him.
It is not. It's a tough spot for Mazzulla, but
man.
Shout out to him. The players clearly like him. Youngest coach in
Rhode Islander. Good for him.
There you go. Wick on WEI saying that the Celtics are going to fill the final roster spot. We don't have to dive too deep into other stuff because we talked about buyout options forever. Will Barton is still out there potentially. You had a couple guys in Maine, Denzel Valentine, Tony Snell could be it. They could, steal somebody we've never heard of, like a Matt Ryan from last year who turned out pretty good for his time there.
What's the rule?
We'll see. What do you mean?
So how long can they wait to do this? I know March 1st is the date where the guy needs to be bought out by to play in the playoffs, but how late can they add the player? Do you know?
I don't know. I think they can sign anybody in any season. They just have to be waived by March 1st. I think. Don't quote
That's
me.
interesting.
Definitely interesting. Now, I know they don't need another guard, but would you be interested in a guard that can play up because of his scrappiness?
I would be interested in a guard that's going to be one of the fellas.
So, do you think the man I am implying would be one of the fellas?
Pat
Do you think
Bev?
Mr. Photographer would be one of the
I would take
fellas?
Pat Bev. I think Pat Bev's
I
fire, and
think
we
he's
texted about this before
awesome.
the show. This is not the person I was
Yes.
talking about, but Pat Bev, I was doing an article for Heavy, and I'm looking for a picture of Pat Bev, and I'm going through, and it's just all of like the dumb things he's done. Like there's him like giving Chris Paul the too little when they're out down 20 to the Suns. There was him hitting his wrist and saying the watch isn't working when they beat Portland and Damian Lillard. I mean, Pat Bev is the man. And people that hate on Pat Bev, I don't get it. The guy's objectively pretty funny, and he's pretty great.
Done
he plays hard.
He's done some dirty things, but he's
What are you into? But I was asking when they have to make the move by, because like let's compare this to going to the prom, right? Like after the closer you get to the prom, the lower the standards get, right? You might just want to go with somebody.
Is this once again bring back Isaiah Thomas?
Bring him in, put him on the end of the bench, stick him there, get the people going. Not that they need any more fuel, but having Isaiah Thomas on the team would be good vibes. It would be real cool. I understand that they have a million guards, and that's one reason I really don't super duper push for it. And I don't really think it's going to happen. I really thought it was going to happen last year when they were playing bad. And before they turned the season around, I thought they were going to add him, and they didn't end up having to. I'm interested to see if he ends up anywhere, because he's still working. I would love to see him on the end of the bench. Don't care if he plays. Think he deserves to be a part of it. If they don't find anybody really useful to fill that spot, I understand the notion of bringing in a young guy that you can develop it now. Hauser, Cornette, who's not super young, different guys there. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. If I could pick, that's what I would want. I think it's a good story.
I just think they should get a wing. They need a wing, and I know the wing is not going to play a ton, but just like having somebody to play.
If you get that and it works for you, then that's fine. I'm not going to complain. But if you end up, Will Barton gets bought out and he goes and signs with not the Celtics,
well, I think like Snell and Valentine. I think Snell and Valentine are probably your top guys, in my opinion.
I guess Valentine's played well for Maine from every account that I've seen. He's done a good job, so I guess he probably half deserves it. Oh man, you bring Isaiah Thomas in, that is a crazy story. It might be bad, might be a distraction. I can see that angle too. I can see it taking away from the guys that are there now. It'll be people wanting him like Taco. It'll be there's going to be some sappiness to it if it happens, but I think it's something that needs to happen. I think it is.
Tony Snell shooting 46% from three up in Maine, so maybe bring that in. Get a guy you can shoot a little bit.
3-point shooting, which I believe does translate somewhat well from the G League to the NBA. I don't know exactly, but I know just from writing about Hauser before the season that he had a good year shooting up in Maine.
He did.
And it's translated. Now, that's one example. There could be plenty that guys just come up and suck, but I think you know how to shoot on any rim as long as it's 10 feet. So
Snell's always been a good 3-point shooter, though. Like he shot 35% total last year with the Blazers and Pelicans. He shot 56% the year before, 40%, 39, 40, 40. So like he's always been a good shooter. So having that at the end of the bench, I think is useful. Like, excuse me, especially with his size. Like he's not huge, but like 6'6" wing, typical wing, having somebody to play behind Tatum and Brown would be useful. So I think it'd be good.
Interesting.
We have All-Star Weekend coming up. Very quickly this weekend. I mean, you guys are hearing this on Saturday, so tonight is the skills challenge, right? And the 3-point and the dunk and everything.
Saturday, yes.
So when they're hearing this tomorrow.
Yep. You'll be looking forward to that. The Rising Stars will have already happened.
Is Rising Stars tonight?
Will have already happened. Yes.
So that's tonight. Okay. So we can talk about the 3-point contest. Do you care at all?
I think it's cool that Tatum's in it. I don't think Tatum's gonna win.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Can you give me the? Yeah. Actually, you know what? We'll have a little bit of fun with this. I'll open up the sports book and look myself to see if there are odds. because I want to see who's favored, who's not. I lean, not knowing who's in it, I lean that whoever does win will be one of those catch and shoot guys. That's usually the way it goes. I know
I have
Lillard's in
my
it.
pick.
I know Tyler Hero's in it.
Mhm.
I believe Buddy Hield's in it.
Yep, he's in it. They put Julius Randle in it. Did you know that? Which
Yeah,
is
I
just
did.
like
He ain't winning.
that's obscene. But yeah, my pick.
You know what would be really cool is if the sportsbook
I-
had this at all.
Let
They
me
don't have
just
the
read
odds.
you. Let me just read it. I have the odds for you.
Rhode
All
Island
right.
sportsbook, not very good.
I have DraftKings. Damian Lillard and Buddy Hield tied for favorites at 425 apiece.
I like Hield
Mhm.
so far.
Jason Tatum at plus 500 is third.
He ain't winning.
My favorite to win at plus 550, Kevin Herter. That's my favorite. I think
That's the type of guy that's going to win. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think I might even put. Well, you know what? I can't because the Rhode Island sportsbook doesn't have odds on this. But
Hero
would
is
if I
also
could.
at Hero's also at 550. Halliburton is at plus 600. I don't think that jump
He ain't
shot's winning. I think he's a good shooter, but he's too slow. Markkanen plus 650, and then Randall down there and last at plus 700. There you go.
If he didn't get invited, it's okay. But Hauser's lame as hell for not doing this if he was asked.
Yeah, I don't think
This is like the one thing you're good at.
I can't imagine he didn't go. Like, or excuse me, he was asked. Like, if he was asked, I bet he'd do it. Like, I see a lot of people upset that they should just take the top 8 shooters of the season, right? Like, am I crazy for that? Like, go to Basketball Reference. Let's see, Basketball Reference, NBA league leaders, right? Screw stars, screw all that. Take the best shooters of the season. Weed out all the, oh, he's only taken 3 shots and he's made 2 of them. No, right? Take who qualifies. Top 8 shooters of the season. Let's see. Malcolm Brogdon, best shooter of the season. He should be in it. Isaiah Joe, he's in it. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Luke Kennard, Damian Lee, Steph Curry, Desmond Bane, Buddy Hield. If one of them says no, go right down the list and pick the next one. That's all you got to do.
That
right?
should be somewhat of how it
And
goes.
I know you're not having, Jason Tatum's not in it. Julius Randle's not in it. Julius Randle, by the way, absolutely bogus. Why the hell was he the replacement for Anthony Simons? He's shooting 33.8% from 3 this season. That's absurd. But and that way nobody can complain that they're not in it. You want to know why you're not in it? Because you weren't the top 8. That's why, homie. So
yeah,
I think that's how they should do it. But
I think the All-Star Saturday night has fallen off. I know it's for
Absolutely.
kids. The whole weekend's kind of for kids or like people that are really, really into this stuff. I don't think a lot of adults are super into the All-Star weekend. Like it's a cool event. Like it'd be cool to go to. But besides that, like I'm not interested in really watching it on TV anymore.
Sure.
I think the best event is the Shooting Stars. I think that's the most fun. I don't know why. I just always like that one. The dunk contest sucks. Nobody wants to do
Are
it.
they doing Shooting Stars again? They got rid of it, right?
Are they?
Shooting Star. I don't think they've done.
I think they
Shooting
combined
Stars
it with
in
the skills
years.
challenge, actually.
Oh yeah, they're doing the 3 people, right? They do the groups.
I like the skills challenge. I think that one's the most fun. That combined with Shooting Stars is a lot of fun.
It's not individual anymore. It's like group.
I think that's the most fun one.
Do you know who the groups are?
It's Giannis and guys that aren't Giannis. It's Utah has a team because they're the host city, and then I believe there's a rookie team.
Rookies, yeah. Which is, oh god, what is it? NBA Skills Challenge participants. I think it's Banchero, Jaden Ivey, excuse me, and Banchero, Jaden Ivey, and Jabari Smith.
Which is cool.
So,
that stuff is cool.
Mhm.
I think that is the best event. It would be cool if they had more teams and like really made it a thing. The dunk contest sucks. They need to get rid of it. And it's a staple, and they'll never get rid of it. But they really should do like horse or something cool because that would be super cool. It'd be cool if they did horse. It'd be different.
I think they should rotate out the Giannis, the Antetokounmpo brothers, unless they won last year. Like bring back the winner and then do home team and rookies. Yeah, so like there's no point. Do like switch it up. Do the Holiday brothers. Bring Drew and his brothers. They can do it. Do the balls.
You got to bring the Ball brothers. If you didn't say it, I was going to say it. And you give LeVar a mic and you let him go nuts.
Mm-hmm. We'll rotate that spot too. But yeah, so you're not a fan of the slam dunk contest, I take
It's just lame. Nobody wants to do it.
Do you know who's in it?
They had
this year?
Mac
Can you
McClung in it, and he's in the G League. They didn't have Shady
not
and
anymore.
Sharp do it. Well, he's the 2-way.
Not anymore.
I wonder if they made him do that.
Maybe.
I wonder if they made them do that.
They can't.
I feel like they might have.
Do you know who else is in it? Do you know the four man?
Jericho Sims is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
They took Shaden Sharp out. He's hurt.
yeah, he's hurt, or he just didn't want to do it. One or the other.
McClung, Jericho Sims, excuse me.
I don't know the rest.
Kenyon Martin Jr. and Trey Murphy III.
See, that stuff's so lame.
Well, I understand. And it's because no one wants to do it. It's because of the injury risk. Trey Murphy can dunk. I'm excited to see that dude dunk. I saw him like testing stuff out. He made a layup, took the ball from under the hoop after the layup, and dunked it. That's wild. But the current favorite is Mac McClung.
Or make the dunk contest a game of horse. Like make those guys like play horse instead of like I don't know, do something different.
McClung's at plus 125, Sims plus 240, Martin Jr. plus 250, and Trey Murphy's last at plus 330. I don't know. We'll see. It'll probably be lame. And it's only lame because like there's nothing new to do, right? You just do the same stuff.
True.
So
big part of it. You want to talk about lame? How about Silver saying, hey, we're not gonna we're not gonna have the reserves be picked last because we don't want somebody to be known as the last pick, to which everyone just said everybody's just going to know that the last reserve is just the last pick.
Yeah, right. Like
it doesn't matter.
Stop. Also,
they know
these are adults. Like, stop. Like, what are we doing?
These are adults with more money than God. Like, I'm sorry, I don't really care if his feelings get hurt. It's for the ratings.
And let's be real, Adam Silver. The whole point of having them pick for the game is so we could see their face when they were the last pick.
Yeah,
like this is the whole reason. Stop.
Well, now Lauri Markkinen's getting picked last because he's a starter.
I thought he was going to get picked last if he was a reserve. So dude just got screwed twice.
Yeah, he was like, oh, wow, I escaped it. And then they were like, actually, no. It's the I think you should leave where he's wearing the hat. And
I think
he thought he was in the clear.
I think Siakam, Julius Randle, or Halliburton is going to be last pick. One of those three.
It won't be Halliburton. He's too nasty.
That's my guess. Well, he's new though, and it's like Giannis.
Doesn't matter. Guy's nasty. He's nasty. They know he can play.
I think it'll be Randall or Siakam then.
Yeah, it will be.
I think that's my bet. Or Drew Holiday. No, because Giannis is there. Giannis is
going to pick him.
Yeah. All right. Oh, man. I think that about does it. Do you want to do a few cards and then jump on out of here?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's run it up. Actually, I did have one more thing. We can do it now. I was going to save it, but why not?
Yeah, do it.
I was talking with my buddy Bobby Kravitsky at Sports Illustrated. Who is the fourth best player on the Celtics this year?
Right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, who's third? Let me get that out of the way. I'm pretty sure we can agree it's the Jays and Rob. I think are the best players.
Derek White may be the third best player right now.
I think right now, yes, but like overall. And I think Derek White has been creeping up, and that's why I ask.
Yeah, it's Derek White.
Which is crazy, right?
He's nasty.
And a big part of that is because Marcus has been hurt, but still. And I'll say this, and I'm going to get slandered, and I'm just going to get killed. The second most impactful player on the Celtics this season, Derek White. Impactful.
I think that's recency bias.
I would have told you
this
a long
fair.
time ago,
I mean,
too.
He's been nasty.
No. I've been saying this. I would have told you this.
But
who is second on the team in plus minus? Because it's not Jalen and it's not close. Like, let's talk. Let me take a look here. Let's take a look at.
That doesn't mean Jalen hasn't, and Derek White has done this as well, but hasn't taken over games. You know,
he has. He absolutely has. But I think, like overall plus minus this season. Excuse me. Look at totals, not per game. Jason Tatum is fourth. Derek White is sixth. Where's Jaylen Brown? Would we like to guess? Plus minus overall
on the team
in the NBA.
In the NBA,
Tatum
Tatum
is fourth. Derek White's sixth.
Something.
31st. Look at you go. What is he on the team?
Probably sixth or seventh.
Fifth. Yeah, fifth on the team. Like, he's a good player. He's a great player. He's an all-star. He's an all-NBA player. Impact this season, Derek White might have the edge. And this, like you said, maybe it's recency bias. I don't know.
I think there is some recency bias, and it doesn't help that Jalen hasn't been playing. But
and I'm not saying
with all that being said, Derek White has been fantastic, and
yes.
There's no harm in saying he's
been playing like an all-star for the past couple weeks. Yeah. Absolutely. Anyways, that was recency bias. Maybe it's just me being crazy, but let's do some cards.
All right.
Let's do some cards. Let me pull up the standings so we know how far behind I am. I believe we're around 80-point swing.
Chat, what should we do when we run out of cards?
Yeah, give us some ideas. He said, what should we do when we run out of cards? For those that couldn't understand him. The score is 197 to 116. Sam has a chance to break 200 today.
Oh,
Let's see. First card of the day. Named USA Basketball Male Athlete of the Year in 1982. I'm going to swing. I'm going to swing. I'm going to be a degenerate.
all right. I'll get out of the I'm not in the chat, but
Are you out?
yeah, I'm not in it.
I'll be a degenerate.
1982.
Played 14 seasons after being drafted by the Atlanta Hawks. I'm wrong. I'm a degenerate. God damn it. Okay. Shoot.
14 seasons, drafted by the Hawks. I'm going to guess, and I'm going to say Doc Rivers.
I already go. It is Doc Rivers. I guess Larry Bird, because I was just like, you know what? Let's just basketball player of the year.
I wanted to guess Bird, but I didn't think that would be the hint. And also, back in that time, guys playing for USA were amateurs. So in 1982, he would not have been playing for USA.
Well, it was just USA Basketball Male Athlete of the Year. So I didn't think. Oh, sorry, I have to post an article. I didn't think it was like. I thought it was like when Sports Illustrated named Steph Curry the best player of the year. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was just like a generic award. Excuse me. So
we mean knowing stuff.
What I was thinking of.
Doc Rivers, bang, break 200, bang.
I'm pissed. Oh yeah,
I bet chat didn't know it was Doc Rivers.
Well, Hawks. I feel like Hawks is a good indicator. I wanted to post them
thinking coach. I thought outside the box.
My goal is no longer to beat you. My goal is simply beat you on a single card. I have no chance of catching up. Unless, can I have double points from now on? Thoughts?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. Fire. Okay, Jack has a chance again. The life is back. I still want to beat you on a card, but I now have a little bit of a chance. All right, next card.
All right,
here we go. Born in Oakland, California, and selected by the Celtics in the 1988 NBA draft. And Jack is screwed. I have nothing. I don't know. All right.
I don't know.
Next one. How does number 22 retired by the UC Santa Barbara Guachos? Guachos? I don't know. I do not know.
I don't know. 22? No, I don't know.
All right.
I have a guess, but I'm not sure.
3 points, set an NBA record in 1993 when he made 10 3-pointers in a single game.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Don't know.
I don't know. 2 points. Guard who started his career with the Celtics, ended it with the Lakers, and played for 5 teams in between.
I know who it is, and I'm actually really mad. I thought about guessing this when on the draft one. Like if my gun was to my head, I would have guessed this, and I'm so mad.
I don't know. Won 3 straight titles from 2000. Is it Rick Fox?
No, it's Brian Shaw.
It is Brian Shaw. I'm pretty sure we've had Rick Fox, but
we already had Rick Fox, and I got that one like extremely early when we had it.
Yeah, unfortunate. All right, I'm like double doing stuff. I'm like posting an article and reading. But third card, you ready?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so mad I didn't get that.
Next one. 13-time All-Star and 6-time NBA champion who was named NBA MVP in 57. Oof. I don't know.
Can you repeat?
I feel like I should know.
13-time
All-Star, 6-time champ, MVP in 1957.
Yeah, okay, I'm guessing.
Oh, I definitely should know this, but I can't remember. Oh, no. I don't think it's Tommy. I don't think it's Bill. I think it's... I don't know. How does jersey retired by the Holy Cross Crusaders and the Celtics? Is it Tommy? Am I crazy? No.
Is that your guess?
Yeah, I'll guess Tommy. I don't think
it's
it
Bob
is, but
Cousy.
No. Didn't we have Bob Cousy? Am I crazy?
See, that was the only hesitation I had on that. But I was like, he's like the only guy that's won an MVP in the 50s, and he didn't play in all the Russell championship teams. He retired, so
I'm pissed. I think we did have Cousy because I remember guessing Heineken when I saw Holy Cross, and then I was wrong because it was Cousy. So maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
Damn. I'm very annoyed because I need points. I'm getting double here, and I'm still failing.
You're still losing.
Anyways, next. Ready?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Named NBA All-Star team in 12. Named to the All-Star team 12 times in his 13 seasons.
Oh Jesus. There's like a million guys this could be.
Yeah, should we go to the next? I don't
Yeah.
know. Co-author of the 2009 memoir, When the Game Was Ours. I don't think I've heard of that.
When the Game Was Ours. I thought that was a baseball book.
I don't know. Next.
Yeah.
All right. Third.
Nope, I'm going back. I know what the book is.
All right. Sam, you're
Have
going
the
to go for
book.
4 points here. Third player in NBA history to be named MVP in 3 consecutive seasons. Oh. Is it just Larry?
Yeah, it's Larry.
Oh, it's 8. Okay, so I get 6 points, right?
knew I had heard of the book, and then it clicked for me what the book was. The cover, the book's gold, and him and Magic are on the cover.
Okay. I'm giving myself double points for that because I need it, and
So
that
I
was
got 4
our
and you
4th
got
one, right?
6.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get wrecked. All right. Let me just double check. I'm posting something quick. Yep, and that's why we check because I had a typo. Give me a second, pod. Give me a second, chat. Even though there's no chat. All right, we are good. We are posting, and I'm going to the next card. You ready?
Yeah.
Last card of the day. I have a brutal tickle in my throat. It's killing me all podcast. I can't shake it. All right, last card. Selected by the New York Knicks with the 19th pick in the 1996 NBA draft. I don't know. I've got nothing.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Should I go next?
Yeah. 96.
Won the 96 championship with Rick Pitino's Kentucky Wildcats. This is past.
I know who it is.
God damn it. 3 points for me. Played Mance in the 1998 Spike Lee film He Got Game. Haven't seen it, so I don't know. Played for the Celtics from 97 to 2005 and returned to Boston as an assistant coach from 03 to 2018. This should absolutely give it away. But I don't know. I don't know. Head coach at Evansville Purple Aces. Yeah, this isn't going to tell me. Walter McCarty. What'd you get, 4 points?
Yeah, 4.
Brutal. So I got double today, and I still did worse than you. That's crazy.
You know why I knew that is because when we did the Jeopardy, and the answer to my question was
Antoine studying.
Walker and Rick Pitino, and then they guessed Walter, and I was like, oh man. So that's how I knew.
It's also correct. Unfortunate. All right. Well, another L for Jack today. No one's surprised.
Even with the double points.
Shut up. But yeah, thank you guys for listening as usual. My one plug is going to be subscribe to us on YouTube at How About Them Celtics. Go check it out. We'd greatly appreciate it. I'm going to go play some Hogwarts today, and that's going to be my plan. Great game. Check it out if you haven't. But anyways, go ahead, Sam.
Plugs the game. Well, they're not paying us. Someone that would pay us if you use the code SeatGeek. Use promo code HBTC to save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Tell them we sent you. Let us help you go see what you want to see. And with that, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. How About Them Celtics podcast? We're excellent. We're climbing. We're at 281 subscribers. We've been doing well lately. A lot of likes on the videos, comments. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. If you're not watching, that's fine. Make sure you follow us on whatever service it is you're listening to us on. You can leave us a nice rating, say we're handsome, whatever it is you want to say. As far as social media goes, at How About Them C's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, we're there on all platforms. You can keep yourself up to date with any upcoming streams or events with us. And you can get the pregame streams right in your face on Facebook and Twitter as well. You can follow Jack at Jack Simone NBA. He's doing all kinds of good work at Celtics blog, at Heavy. You can follow me. I've been tweeting up a storm, been doing pretty good. Had some good tweets lately at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.